If you've worked in Excel for a while, you've probably seen dates appear in this format, and you've probably wondered why. Today I'm going to explain why and show you how dates work in Excel in general so you can manipulate them as you need to. So the first thing to do is try and understand where these 45,000 type numbers come from in Excel. If I click into here and type a normal date, so 13th of the 5th, 2023, you'll see that it's gone into a date format. If I click into the cell, Excel has even recognized that as it's set it to a date format for the actual cell itself. If I change that format to number, it will turn into this 45,000 format. Now, you might just think, well, just turn it back into a date and then everything's fine. And that is absolutely the case. However, understanding where that 45,000 comes from and why allows you to then manipulate dates. So let me start by showing you this. If I make this cell here equal that date cell, so equals that cell there, and then we've left it in the date format. What I'm going to do now is take off a number from this one. So we've got 45,059. I'm just going to simplify it and put 45,000. So watch that date, 13th of the 5th, 2023. Hit that and it goes to the 15th of the 3rd, 2023. What it's done is it's reduced by a number. It's reduced by 59 and it's reduced by 59 days. So each number in this 45,000 thing represents one day. If I take 1,000 days off by going 44,000 in here, we go back to 2020, 1,000 days before. So what's the significance of 45,000? If I put 1 in here, you'll see we get the 1st of January, 1900. That is when the date format in Excel starts. If I put in -3, Excel can't work it out. It won't do any dates prior to the 1st of January 1900. So if you're a paleontologist or a historian, that might be a problem for you. Okay, great, but so what? What can I actually do with that? Well, let me give you some examples. What about if we needed to know what the date was 7 days ago? Well, maybe we could use a formula to obtain that. What about if we needed to know what every Monday was for the next 2 years? Well, maybe we could get that as well. Let's have a look. So here's a really useful formula to get today's date instantly. We've got the heading here, today's date, and to the right of that, I'm going to put equals today, open brackets, close brackets, and then hit enter, and it will get me today's date. We know from what we looked at before that we can add and subtract from dates to get other dates. So if we wanted a week ago from this number here, so if we wanted to fill in this heading, we literally just do equals this date here, which we know to be today's date, minus 7. And that gives us the 10th of May, 2023, 7 days ago. In the same way, if we wanted next week, we just simply click in here, equals, point on the today cell, plus 7, hit that. Now, Excel's really smart, as we know, with pattern recognition. If you've watched course 1, you'll see that. If we just click into both of these and then drag it down, what it's going to do is do week plus 1, week plus 2, and so on. And then it's going to keep adding 7. So as you can see, we're getting each date 7 days apart, the next week, the next week, the next week, the next week. The eagle-eyed among you and the ones that listen really well will remember that I just said we're going to find all the Mondays for the next 2 years. You'll also notice that these are not Mondays. So how would we convert this or understand what the Mondays are and then follow that pattern on for the next 2 years? Here's another really useful formula to work out what day a particular date is. So this date here, today's date, we want to know what day it is. If we do equals text, open brackets, click in here, and then the format of the text, so if we put a comma, and then if we put DDD, day, close it with speech marks, close the brackets, hit enter, it will tell us Wednesday. If we put another D in, we'll get the full word Wednesday. So you don't need to put in like 8 or however many letters there are in the word Wednesday. You can just put in 4 and it will give you that for all of them. So how do we get our Mondays? Really simple. We know we've got a Wednesday, so we could just do equals this date here, minus 2, and we now know that's a Monday. So we could then scroll this down and it's going to take 2 days off each of these dates here. Or we could just add 7, so that one plus 7, and we know that that's the next Monday. If I scroll that down for absolutely ages, I'm going to get all the Mondays. I said 2 years, we're up to 2031, but that could go on forever. So a really quick way of sort of getting every single week and mapping it out. Now you could do that on months and years and all sorts of other things as well. Now, reversing the logic a bit, what else could we do with dates? Well, what about if we knew what the date was today, pretty obvious, and we knew what date we were going to deliver a project? Now, if we wanted to know how many days that was or how many weeks that was, how could we find that out? So today, as we now know, is the 17th of May when I'm recording this video. Let's say we're going to deliver a project on the 20th of August of this year. Now, if we want to know how many days away that is, it's really simple. We do equals the date of the delivery minus today's date, hit enter. It's 95 days in the future. If we want to know how many weeks that is, it's simply a case of dividing that 95 by 7. Oh, you can see it's gone into a date format, so we just need to change that to number. So it's 13.5 weeks away. Now, not everyone works a 7-day week, so that 95 is probably not how many working days we've got on this project. So to work that out, there's a really useful formula in Excel called network days. So if I do equals network days, open brackets. Now you see here it prompts you for a start date and an end date. So my start date here is 17th of the 5th. We're going to start today, comma, and my end date is the 20th of the 8th. If I hit enter now, I've got 68 working days. What Excel does is it takes out weekends and it tells you how many working days in the common working week there are between two dates. Really, really useful. The final thing I'm going to show you in this video is how to extract a month or a year from a date value using a formula. So earlier on, I showed you how we can put DDDD to show the full length of the day. We put Wednesday earlier. In this case, this would be May. So if we do equals text, and then we point at our today's date cell, a comma, and then the format we want is MMMM to show the month in its full length. Close the brackets and we get May. Now, just to prove that the MMMM will give you the full length, if we change this to a longer month, so 13th of the 1st, 2023, that will now show January. In the same way, I can do text and into here, comma, and then I'm going to put year, close the brackets, and then I get 2023. So we can pull out components from that full date as we need it.